I'm sympathy baiting for you to tell me like I'm a good girl or whatever. Hello, Jack.
You are a good girl, my friend. Okay.
Thanks, Jack.
And you're doing well. You're staying
Not
stronger
really,
than most.
Jack.
You could do better, sure. But don't beat yourself up. You got a dad who's doing that enough. Can I talk to Ben? Will
I
he
can't
talk to
defend my
me?
behavior earlier today, though. I can't. Maybe I should beat myself up.
Yes.
Ben,
Jack, welcome.
I love you, my friend.
Thank you.
I want to speak to you dad to dad.
Mm-hmm.
You can do better, man. Okay. You got a strong and very talented and creative daughter, and you see that, right?
True, I agree with you, Jack.
I'm here to challenge you on a bunch of beliefs. You're not just a
Absolutely,
sinner.
that's good. No,
You're,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
but it's how you act quite often, right?
Well, I do believe we're sinners, but I don't believe that's all we are.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I had this idea for you.
Not
Just
a Calvinist.
just a seed of thought and
Yeah.
unsolicited advice. I recognize it what it is.
Sure, yeah.
I actually think what you've got here together with your daughter, if you switched gears, right? If you switched from the control part and turned to the support part.
You mean me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually think
I've done that before.
And did you stop?
I think, Jack, if I could explain to you a little bit, because like I do respect how you coming in are seeing this and going like, it looks like you're trying to control her and berate her and take out the theory would have to be that I have frustrations that I'm not dealing with and I'm pushing them on to her so that I feel better about myself. It doesn't really, like, I may be deceiving myself, but like that's not really how I roll. What could also be going on here is that she grew up with someone who was constantly despairing and learned that despair is a kind of safe place, even though you might think it's not. And that it became a home for her. And she goes there when there's some challenges. Sometimes she doesn't, sometimes she does. And then I gotta fucking pull her by the fucking hair out of that fucking place and say, no, we are not going there.
Is that
Sometimes
what you do?
People need a hard word, including women, right?
But is that what you do to yourself? Do you deny yourself the real feelings of despair that can happen?
Oh, I've been depressed. I actually like prior to like 5 years ago, I could have been diagnosed as what do you call it? They used to call it manic depressive. Now, bipolar.
Sure.
So it was 3 months of depression, real depression, and then 3 months of manically trying to get out of it, and then crashing back into it. That cycle happened over a few years. I mean, that's when. But Jack, here's the thing about it: it was situational. It was because I was thinking that this marriage quote that I was in was real. And once I broke that, I've never experienced depression since then. I've been down, but I've never for one day experienced depression since then. So I'm really grateful for that. And I found that, I found that I mean, what as a Catholic, I would say like there's no reason ever to be even a little bit depressed because from my point of view, everything which comes to you comes as a gift, and I think you would agree with that, even though you're not like Catholic. But like we only misread things as like I was just telling Grace the other day, like when you say I had a bad day, I think that's bullshit. You just had a day that you could learn from, and those are actually better days in a way if you learn from them. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
A good day, you don't really learn that much. You just enjoy life. Okay. We all prefer that in a certain way, but it's the bad days that you learn from. And also, so this is where I think you and I disagree. I don't think there's any such thing as bad emotions, but I think that you are kind of like, I don't like to feel certain emotions and I don't want other people to feel them. And I want to keep on the sunny side of things. And I don't think that's healthy. What I call that is like a semi-stoicism. You know, the Stoics? I don't think you feel like you should have no emotions.
No.
But I think you feel like you shouldn't have, quote, negative emotions. You know what I mean? And I disagree with that, but I understand why people say that. But I do think you should always be optimistic. So I think we differ a little bit there.
What I found the practice is to allow the pain to be, the sadness to be, but let it not overtake you, right? So to be with the
Yes.
joy in spite of the pain, in spite of the darkness.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do get in touch with your anger quite a bit, but like I think you feel like it'd be a better world if we didn't all do that, which I don't
Wouldn't
agree
it?
with. I don't have a
You
problem
don't
with
think it would be better if people figured out why they're getting angry and then they figured out how to
I think they
stop
can
getting angry
I think they could do that by getting angry and working it out. You know,
with
I don't think they have to I think it depends what you mean. You know, there's a difference between repression and suppression. Like
Mhm.
You should suppress sometimes your emotional um let's say what your emotions are pushing you towards, especially if you're not sure whether you're in the right, but you should never repress it. In other words, say like I can't allow myself to have this feeling.
Right.
But when you're clear, when you've examined and you know what you're in the right, then I think you should let it rip. Yeah. So I don't think you agree with me about that. Bye.
I
I think it's
used to.
very healthy to let it rip.
I used to. I used to believe in being the strict and demanding kind of um, controlling dad. But at the same time, I had plenty of room for him to play and be reasonable, right?
Do you
So,
know that of the two parents, like you don't know, you'd have to get of the two parents, I was the laid back, nice parent. I my kids had never accused me of being controlling and strict. And I also used to teach high school, and the
mhm,
principal would say to me like, you need to have more. It was Catholic boys' school. You know, you need to be more of kind of a disciplinarian. You're too relaxed with the kids, which I agreed I was, but it
boy.
may be that you and I are different.
No, I mean, in many ways it was, but I was loud. I yelled a lot,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think what happens with you is you get angry, but you tell yourself, I really shouldn't do this. I think I get angry mostly when I think it's appropriate. So I don't think
This,
you give yourself like the option to say, sometimes it's appropriate, other times it's not, because I think you say it's never appropriate, but what can you do? I don't know, maybe.
I used to. I used to allow myself when I knew I was right and righteous. I used to allow the anger to come out, and I figured I'm helping them learn lessons they won't forget, right? Um,
Yeah.
but there were consequences. Every time I showed anger, there were consequences in my life. People pushed me away.
But did
So
you but did you but did you take that thing of like you're being sarcastic about it. You're saying I was right and righteous and I really wasn't, right? That's what you're saying.
no, I was. They were
You were in
wrong.
the right.
I was
Okay.
in the right. They weren't understanding me, but it was no
Okay.
reason for me to yell at them, I guess. And
There was no reason?
well, they just because someone doesn't understand. This is what I realized. Mistakes I made as a dad too, right?
Yeah.
I yelled at my kid when he didn't understand what he was doing without thinking about how young he was and what it was like to be young like that,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
what I've been
I
learning,
sometimes you can make mistakes. I understand. But like that's just part of life. You got to assess like the situation. We don't have full knowledge, and maybe that the kid had a bad day, but like a lot of times you can know your own kids, right? Wouldn't you say you knew your kid? But maybe you
I
didn't.
thought I did, and it
Mm.
turned out I was wrong.
How do
And
you
this
know
is,
you were wrong?
I thought we were close. I thought our love was real and our bond was strong, and it turned out, I guess it wasn't.
Well, but maybe,
Um,
well, okay, but like, how do you know he wasn't in the wrong? Like, I don't know your situation, but usually in these cases, you know, you've got three actors. You've got a father, a mother, and a kid. And a lot of times the mother is running interference, fucking with the kid's connection with you. And so you may be right, but he may say, I listened to mom before you because like she's the one who, you know, was there at my earliest. Okay, so maybe you're right. And maybe he'll come around. I don't know the situation, Jack. But you know, I have a similar situation with my son. He calls me everything under the sun. He punched me in the head and then went to the police and told them that I assaulted him. And I call him a fucking asshole to his face. And I've threatened him to get him thrown out of his house, which I can do. And I think I'm in the right to do that. Now you
he
say I
might,
don't understand him. I think I understand him real well. And I understand he's trying to protect his mommy and he needs to cut that fucking shit out. But there may be consequences, but I don't care.
I just wanted to say, when Jack said maybe you should be more encouraging, I just want to say from my own experience, my dad can be very, very soft and gentle and encouraging and reassuring. When he does that, I tend to get complacent. For a little while, I'm happy. Then I get complacent and I start sleeping and watching more TV and ordering more takeout food. And I just kind of. So I would say, in a sense, I set up these situations so that he will get angry and kick me in the ass.
Okay.
I know a little bit on some level what I'm doing. And I do,
right?
I find it's like when you get spanked as a kid and you get that release of sort of like, okay, somebody cares about me, somebody is correcting me, I feel calmer afterwards. It's like a big sort of like emotional orgasm in a way. And I cry and I feel bad and I condemn myself to hell. And then he saves me and he says, you're not going to go to hell. And then I'm like, okay, I think we can fix things.
Wait, can I just stop for a second and say, Jack, I am so glad you came up. Because a lot of times these things end up being on loop. You can see people in chat saying it's on loop. But we get a lot of viewership. And
I'm sure you do.
And I think you deserve way more viewership than us. I think you are a fascinating person. I mean that 100%. And I think you let yourself be like pulled into these tiny little spheres by having the same. That's just my criticism, but I get why you do because you're a big-hearted guy. But I want you I really mean this. I know that people might say like, oh, you're trolling. You know how that is. Everyone says you're trolling, whatever. Like I really, and I'm listening to what you're saying, and you're listening to what I'm saying, which almost never happens on the fucking internet, you know. But I appreciate it. I appreciate having a third voice. That's so important. And basically in our family, those other voices have all said, I'm not talking to you, really. I mean, there'll be a little bit here and there, but it tends to be, and you know, when you bring in younger people in, it's not really fair to them, these kind of adult situations. But we now have 6 in our family out of 8 who are technically adults. And really, basically, there's only Grace and I communicate, and especially online, which I can understand, but even offline, that's basically it. So it's great to have someone who's willing to hop in, because all these people, you see them in chat. Oh, I hate you. I hate Grace. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And some of them are friendly. Some of them are offer something, but they almost never come up and actually get in the fray. So I really appreciate it. And I do want to continue to make you like the Thorposphere therapist and pastor, because I think it'd be good for both of us. You know what I mean?
I do.
This is real. I mean, I think, you know, it's not scripted. It's not like that. It's not real, but like also, you know, people find it interesting. And I wonder if at some point it's like a little refreshing for you to be outside of that same loop. You know what I mean? because I find it refreshing to interact with you, to have it.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So I just want to say that, like, in all sincerity, and if we can kick some, we have some very generous people, and you have a PayPal or something like that.
Yeah, I've got all that stuff. All
So
sorts.
let's get someone in chat to promote it, because we love you as a streamer and as a person. So I'm saying, like, I want you to benefit as a streamer.
It'll work itself out. We don't have to push it or force it.
No, I know. I'm not trying to buy your friendship or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, that. I am really happy that.
Thank you.
Do you know that you may not think this is a good idea, but, like, do you know that Grace just got hit up by? So we stream on YouTube and on Kick, a different platform, which is mostly a kids kind of shenanigans platform. But you would actually be very popular there. It's too much little kid nonsense. They need a dad in there. But that platform is owned by an online gambling company, and they've reached out to her. And if you play their games, which, like, you don't have to pay to play, they pay something like thousands of dollars a week. Can you believe that? Now, you might say gambling is unhealthy, which I agree it can be, but you know.
What?
Well, anyways, I'm not sure where you want to go from here, Jack, but, like, I'd love to have you keep going here. Do you want to go at? Do you want to? So your thing is, like, I need to be more supportive of Grace, but my thing is, she sets this up so it looks like I'm the meanie, because I've been incredibly supportive off stream, and at a certain point, I want to pull my hair out because it's enough with the fucking support. Let's get going. We got a life to live, you know? But then when it comes on stream, I look like I'm mad, which I am.
Well,
and her mother did the same fucking routine, Jack.
Fucking routine. I don't remember the specific words I heard you say right as I was pulling up, but dude. There's a censorship button within you, right? When the ideas, the words start coming up, and
you mean like I say something like "Go find a bridge"? Go find a bridge. Yeah, I do say that to people a lot, and I think they should. Well, if you're going to despair, go all the way. And I don't really mean that, Jack. I wouldn't say that to someone who I thought was really going to go find a bridge. But I do think despair is impossible to argue with, you know?
I realize that, but the reality is this content that you and your daughter are a part of, it's your daughter's real life. It's your real life, right?
Yeah.
And these words, these ideas that come into our head, especially from a father figure, I'm sure you two know each other. It seems pretty clear to me. You guys have some patterns together, but I do encourage you, where you can, invite Grace to take the lead. Okay.
No, you gotta understand. He does. That's what you gotta understand.
Okay.
He does.
Back to you.
He all the time. He's like, "What do you want to do? I want you to take something, take hold of it. You know, like, what are you like? He could not. I genuinely don't think he could be more facilitative of that. And what I'm seeing as you guys are just talking about this, I didn't really have this like in my head, but it's like I sort of like slump until he's like, "What the fuck? Like, stop! Come on, you're young. Like, engage in your own life." And then I'm like, "Oh yes, I wanted that sort of like kick in the ass," and it gives me that sort of resolution because I feel guilty for what I'm doing because I know that I should be getting life together more than I am, and taking his suggestions and doing all the things I claim I'm going to do. So in a sense, I would say I bait him into getting angry at me so I can feel resolution for the guilt I feel. That doesn't really fix anything, though.
Jack, you have to understand, there's a pattern here that, like, 4 full years before we separated from the rest of the family, her mother had a nervous breakdown, and every day I'm talking literally for 6 or 7 hours, there was this routine of how can we help you because we need a mom in this family. and it was Grace and me every day for 6 or 7 hours. Now, you'd think the last thing she's going to do is take that when we leave. But of course, these patterns, are once you see a pattern, it's hard not to replicate it, especially if you say, I hate that pattern. And that's one of the weird truths about human nature.
Right. So I think it does. You're aware of the pattern, right? You're aware of the problem. So it sounds like the solution for you, Grace, it's time to find that inner guidance, that inner spark, right? Your own encouragement, your own inspiration, maybe.
Well, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with you. I could be wrong, but I think it's time for me to listen to him.
Could be a little of both. I
don't do that. I don't do that, but I think I should. Objectively, I think
that both men and women should listen to God. But I do think that women need a male guide that they trust, and that it's their father until it's their husband, and then. But I dare you to find one female who's disconnected from the man who should be guiding them that's doing well. They don't do well.
But it's not like I have like some kind of like secret idea that I really want to do that my dad doesn't want to. It's like I get most of my inspiration from him, and then I might develop it in my own way, but like it's not like I'm like, oh, I want to do something totally different with my life. I ask him constantly to sort of like guide me on what to do. What's the right angle to take with this? Yada yada. But I like kind of half listen, half don't. I think. And generally, it's just sort of like a lack of interest on all sides because.
Jack, would you be open to someone else coming up?
Yeah.
And it would found some because, like, I obviously, we love the idea of getting some. You know what I mean? When you've had the same old, it's getting some fresh. Sometimes it's trolls, but
different views. Sure, yeah. I get it. I was intending to stream today, and I haven't scheduled or posted anything yet, so I shouldn't stay too long. That's my point.
That's fine.
Sure, yeah.
That's fine. Quickly, I got a dono from MS, $2. How many times does this have to be pointed out? No one cares what Ben thinks. No one is here to watch him. No one cares about his criticism about Grace or the show. It means nothing. Thank you for your donation, MS.
Well, Jack,
I care, MS. I care. Go ahead.
There you go.
What the actual controversy today is, and this has been going on for 7 years, is can we just come up with a schedule that we both can adhere to? Can we, do you know what I mean? Kind of make a plan for the day, when we're going to eat, what we're going to do. And I used to do this with the family when her mother was around, and it was always the same thing: stonewalling, foot dragging. All right, here's Flaco. Oh, good. You want to say something? And I'll bring Flaco up.
There's a fine balance that each of us have to learn, right? Having a plan, having an order, and at the same time, just letting go and flowing. And it sounds like you two are a little bit of the opposite of each other, right? Perhaps not.
No, because Grace is much more into plans and organization than I am. Constitutionally, I'm much more laid back. So that's why it's particularly weird.
Fascinating.
I get to be very.
Wouldn't you agree, Grace?
Like a control freak.
She loved going to public school after being homeschooled because she liked the order. I hated school.
That is true. He's like the hippie of the two of us.
Right when I'm pointing to you, Jesus. Hey, what's up? Hello,
Flaco. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
I haven't been up in a long time now, but yeah, it's like kind of twofold. You kind of like when basically he was kicking when basically when basically Grace's dad, I forgot your name, retarded moment, sorry. He just
Ben, my name's Ben.
Ben, sorry, yeah, retarded moment. No, but when Ben was like kicking her out, but then it's like, because he was in a hotel, you kind of see what the things he's saying, but then again, he kind of sounds a little bit mean, but then it's like, but then she's driving in the car, and then he's like with her on the line, so it's like, you kind of see he's trying to because in the Catholic faith too, you're trying to, as a parent, you're trying to teach your child, but at the same time, it's like in
Well,
a
she's an
lot of
adult,
ways
so I don't really
that,
see it that way as much.
but in a lot of well, in a lot of ways, it kind of seemed a little bit too harsh. Then again, I mean, we are sinners, and that's that. But the Catholic, that's their excuses for. I mean, that's their belief. Not excuse, sorry, motif.
I'm sorry, Flaco.
Yeah.
What is like your specific sort of issue or point?
Well, he's just maybe summarizing. I don't really hear any question here.
No issue, just to say hi. Plus,
Okay.
Okay.
just to like. Yeah, I mean, well, okay, that's bad on Ben's angle too to say like your mom because that was I was kept on saying like, oh my god, he's always like when he says you're like your mom, and it could kind of seem like it could come off as a weapon, like like kind of like how
What if it's
oh you're
true?
just like your mom.
I
And
don't
it's
like
just
it
like
when he
that.
says I'm like my mom, but like if he points out something I'm doing that she used to do and I know she did, like it is true if he does point it out. So
Well,
then
my
I should
point
change
is
my
you're
behavior
acting like your
instead of
mother,
taking
but you don't have the
offense.
same problems she has. Like she has severe relational problems. So why are you acting like her? That's my
Yeah,
Hey,
point.
this might seem like a superficial solution, but someone in chat suggested that I just have a manager, and I think that's
Yeah.
interesting to me. Someone outside of my dad who
Yeah.
I could sort of be held accountable by. Not you though, Dad, because it's too personal.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've told you should see a therapist. You should talk to a priest. You should. Right.
No, I mean like we'll put that aside. I'm saying like just a manager who like I have to check in with. Strictly professional.
Remember,
pay them in
I
lewds.
purchased. I had a Korean guy that managed you and your mother
Yeah,
for like
I remember,
$200 a week, and you never checked in with her. Him.
No, it's that we had to pay him penalty fees if we
And you
didn't
never
submit
did
our
anything.
schedules on time, and we didn't, so we ended up owing him like $3,000.
No,
Yeah,
you
no,
weren't.
it was a good idea though. It was a good idea.
How about I offer?
Oddly too, in contrast, I was never, well, sometimes rarely I am told I'm just like my mother, but it's like I try not to be like her and I catch myself acting like her, but that's only in my case. But plus she comes off a bit narcissistic and I had to get away from that, though I love her. We got a complicated relationship, let's just go.
You got to get away
But
from
it's
her.
like,
100%. Are you
but I
living with her?
mean, no,
Oh,
I
okay.
moved out.
Jack, what did you want to
10 years
say?
ago.
Jack, what did you
Good
want to
for
say?
Jack, yeah.
I want to offer you something if you're
Okay.
up for it. It's not so much a manager, but an outside sounding board for you with the goal that you become a greater manager for yourself. I'll help you develop the tools, I think, that will help find out whatever's holding you back and get clarity for your future. And then with the clarity, you'll know what to do.
I'm looking for someone to
trying.
It's worth trying, but I'm looking for someone to treat me like a retard. Like I want like hourly or like semi-hourly check-ins.
Jack
Like,
only,
what have
like,
you
pretty
done
much
so
has, like,
far?
mentally ill people.
You want an accountability. You're looking for
It's a low bar.
accountability.
Yeah,
So,
accountability. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ben
I want
does
you to
that.
check in with me and say like, what have you done so far today? And I want it to be depersonalized from my dad. You know what I mean?
Okay. Consider this. That is what you're looking for, and that's what Ben's bringing is accountability.
Yes.
That means you're attached to him until you learn how to be self-accountable, right? Accountable on your own.
Yeah, I'm sort of like parentifying him past the age that it's reasonable. You know what I mean?
Or until you find a man who holds you accountable like he does.
Yeah, right. But I don't think it's really. He doesn't really hold me accountable. First of all, he's too soft on me. He's too easy on me. Honestly, that's true.
Right.
He's too easy on me. He feels bad for me. It's too personal. And it's not fair to put him in that position. And then he just takes it and takes it and takes it, and then he gets angry, and then I make him look like the bad guy online, and we restart, because then I feel bad for it, and then he feels bad for me again.
Right.
It's all too personal. It's all too personal. Jack Doherty.
It's the karmic path in life, man.
Anyone managing me would be better than my dad. It's not fair to him, and it's not working anyways. It doesn't matter. Maybe I want to listen to someone. And here's the thing, my dad, you've always said you'd like to have creative input, but you don't really want to be in charge of the details. You don't want to be a manager. You're not like going to be a hard ass. You're not going to.
No, I'm more like the vision guy. You know what I mean, Jack? Like,
yeah.
So,
you come up with the RV thing in California. Okay. Nobody else would. Okay, go ahead.
No. Okay. So what I'm saying is like, when we do IRL content, because we do two kind of things. Like one is like this kind of content, then we do like out on the road. When we're doing out on the road content, Grace can handle herself, manage herself, makes decisions. I really never say like you did wrong. I will just sometimes see, let's say in an interpersonal thing, an angle that would be interesting, you know, where you like kind of like we have this guy Lalo, who's a lot of people speculate is gay. And I'm like, okay, take him to a gay bar and let's see what happens. You know what I mean? And that would be interesting. I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm just saying, you know, maybe let's push it in that direction. So it isn't just like nicey, you know what I mean? Like put a little, you know, and that's part of what streaming is. Because, you know, we got to make money and keep it interesting. But I don't actually manage her. And she does great. And so that's why I see it like it's more of a partnership between two adults than this sort of father-daughter thing. And so I agree with you. That in many ways she can manage herself. Like, I think you're right about this. I think it's bullshit that she can't, largely.
Well, so then what's the problem?
Based on, but see, Jack, here's the thing. I think she's trying to protect her mother in this weird way by saying like, I don't want to make it seem, I don't want to be successful because that will shame you for being a failure. And I don't think that's a daughter's job. Who cares? You should succeed. Who cares about your mother? You don't know your mother's shit.
Well,
but if a parent says, I don't want you to succeed because it'll make me feel bad.
No,
you should say, fuck you. I don't care.
Well, this is something, you know, you see things different once you get beyond it. But I think I tried living through my son's life to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Being the laid back dad and trying to have fun with him. But I didn't really prepare him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is healthy. What you guys are doing publicly, seriously.
Yeah, I think a lot of more people should do it than everyone just goes, oh, I would never want to do this. I mean, American families are in a crisis largely.
Yes.
And they hide it.
Yes.
Well, why? Why hide it?
It's what the world has taught us. And many of the mental health professionals, they just know what they've learned. They don't know.
Well, they want you to take it to them at $350 an hour quietly in a closet so they can, you know, get their money every week till the end of time.
It's the system we were.
What's the incentive for them to fix problems? There's no incentive. You think fat people go to a therapist and the therapist goes, hey, here's my advice to you. Eat less. Get out of here. No. They want to hear 8,000 hours about it. You know, but that's the answer. Eat less. But usually there is a deeper answer as well.
Wait a second. So you're saying it's not so much just needing a manager, although someone outside of you who I check in with and update would probably be helpful. I think we can all agree
you've done that
would probably
before,
be helpful.
You totally wrecked it, Grace.
Actually, I understand that, but that's true of every part of this situation. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It didn't go well.
Hey, how about this? Something I heard from Thorp, along the lines of what you guys are discussing, and maybe the situation you're in too. I heard it from Tony Robbins, right? Our friends and our family, the people who care about us the most, they often hold us back, right?
That's
because
true.
They're afraid of us falling down. They're afraid of us, you know, making mistakes. So what you're talking about, Grace, might just be the answer that could really help. Just an outside perspective. doesn't undermine anything, just another perspective. And
Tony
to
Robbins
hold
is a
you
serial
accountable.
killer? Sorry?
I don't know about that.
I never heard that. He's a serial
Yeah, I
killer.
mean, it gets funky, it gets stagnant, it gets to be the same thing over and over. And so like when it's just me and him, and he has said to me many times, you need more outside voices. I can't be the only voice you trust. I can't be the only voice you take seriously, because you don't have enough. If your issue, he always says this to me, Grace, if your issue is with me, the last person you should probably talk to about that is me, because I'm going to,
Right.
you're going to suspect me of being biased in my favor because I'm me. And which is like true, like that. Yeah, that.
But then she said, "Well, I only trust you." So it's like this
Right.
impossible loop. And
It
yes,
is.
you've had other people who said they were going to help you who turned on you, right? Because they're internet people who a lot of times are crazy. The IRL people like Ruby, Darius, right? Like, so
yes, but also
that
like
reinforces the loop.
It does. I'm not gonna lie, it does. But also, there's a way of trusting someone without telling them your every single secret and like everything that could they could hurt you with. Just
It's fascinating. Hey, I'm gonna step out.
Thanks so
Thank
much
you,
for
Jack.
coming on, Jack.
Thank you, sincerely. I appreciate it. It was
Anytime, really.
yeah.
appreciate it.
You opened it up. It went from a line to a triangle.
You
and
get
then we
ones
got
in
some
chat
space.
for Jack. One's in chat.
Hey,
Jack
much
One's in
love.
chat
ladies
for
and
Jack.
gentlemen.
W Jack.
And wait, can we promote his channel? Oh,
Jack Talcott.
Talcott.
Let me pull it up. Jack
one of the
Talcott.
great YouTubers.
You know, he's going live. We could raid him whenever we finish up. Let me see. Jack Talcott. All right, he doesn't have an upcoming stream, but I'm sure he will. Jack's channel, ladies and gentlemen. Go give him a follow. Thank you, Jack. There we go. He left. Yeah, you're welcome. No, thank you, Jack. Thank you. Seriously.
Thanks, Jack. We'll send a dono.
Yeah.
Over.
Well, yeah, Jack. Text me
Please.
when you're going live or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll raid as well. Okay, so you're saying the issue is not. Okay, I can see what you're saying if you're saying like, look, Grace, you always have these like
No,
superficial
wait a second. Look, what you did here